Hello and welcome back to Retro Haven. In this video we want to talk about the Resident Evil 2 characters, and as you can see I have a special guest beside me. With jokes aside, let's see what kind of characters and what kind of development on the story we had in Resident Evil 2. With that said, this is Daniel from Retro Haven and welcome to Resident Evil Retrospective. Leon Scott Kennedy. If you are looking for a candidate for the worst luck in terms of job, then you should look no further. Mr. Leon is here to take the spot. He was born on 1977, which made him 21 at the time of Resident Evil 2 story. He was recruited by Raccoon City Police Department in 1998, but the issue was that he had a little bit of a good or bad strike of luck in his first supposed day of work. Leon was supposed to reach the town on September 28th. But maybe he was too lucky, because when he got in town one day late, he was the only cop left unharmed in the whole building, and the only other cop alive was Marvin. He's not egoistic, but has some cool way of handling things, and is a sort of a female favorite. He fell in love with Ada in a short night of horror that they have spent together, but was not lucky enough and lost her. So in the end, he knew that Ada was alive because she was the one dropped rocket launcher for him. Leon is 1.78 meters tall, and his blood type is A. The late Paul Haddad was the voice actor for him in this game, and an actor called Brad Renfro played him in the live-action advertisement for Resident Evil 2. Claire Redfield. Claire is an orphan and raised alongside his only family member, Chris Redfield. Chris trained her in hand-to-hand combat and weapon handling without knowing that this will save her life from a zombie outbreak one day. She was born on 1979, that made her 19 years old in the Raccoon City incident. When Chris joined the Air Force, he started to get some distance from Claire, but never stopped caring for her, and even introduced her to his new friend, the family man himself, the one and only Mr. Barry Burton. One fun fact about Claire is that Hideki Kamiya personally stated in an interview that her interest for custom bikes started with her college time, and she owned 2 bikes in the Resident Evil 2 time. So, rest assured that this girl still have another cool bike somewhere safe from the zombie outbreak. She is 169 centimeters tall and her blood type is O. One of the main things that shows the bond between Claire and Chris is the Made in Heaven jacket she wore in the game, while you can find the Chris's jacket in the STAR's office. Ada Wong. Lady Mystery herself, Ada is 3 years older than Leon and was 24 in the time of Resident Evil 2 events. Ada is unofficially half Chinese, half American with 1.7 meters height. Her blood type is rare as her personality, and it is AB. There is no exact information on her motives in the game, except that she was a spy for a long time. Her goal was to get access to virus sample, and she even got intimate with a scientist named John who worked for Umbrella. She even tried to get to Raccoon City under the disguise to find John in order to obtain G-virus sample. The only thing that this cold and manipulating girl did not count on was falling in love with the rookie cop in her operation. In the end, she faked her death to leave Leon behind, but could not leave him to get killed by the mutated Mr. X and dropped a rocket launcher to save him. Sherry Burton. Sherry is the only child of one of the greatest scientists that the world has ever seen. Her parents, William and Annette Perkins, were too busy with work to spend enough time with her, and she developed a sort of independent personality that helped her to survive the zombie-infested Raccoon City with a bit of help with her newly found friends Leon and Claire. She was 12 years old when Resident Evil 2 events happened. Her blood type is O, and if she has a fraction of his mother and father's intelligence, then saving her maybe even save the world someday. One of the most important things about her is that she got a pendant in her birthday that holds her family picture inside, but in reality the pendant was a container for G-virus and a backup that no one can think of. But what her parent did backfired and put her in a grave danger, because it seems like Umbrella knew about the sample. After the strike team failed to deliver a sample and got butchered by G. Birkin, they sent a handful of Mr. X tyrants to town with some specific instructions. Kill every survivor, destroy the evidence connecting Umbrella to the outbreak, and the most important of all, get access to the sample in the Birkin's kid pendants. She is the only one in the history that got infected with G-virus but got the vaccine and cured. Ben Bertolucci. Ben was a great reporter who was scooping for any story no one would go for. He was born on 1972 and died in 1998 when he was only 26. When he heard about the incident inside the mansion from his anonymous source, he started to get more info about the things. The more he digged, the more dirt was there to discover, and in the end he figured out the police chief Brian Irons is working with Umbrella. His survival instinct kicked in when he saw those zombies, and he grabbed a jail key and put a set of bars between himself and any other zombies outside. He must have thought that the cops will handle the outbreak and he can escape after the dust is settled. But what saved him for a day was not enough to save him from William Birkin in his G-mutated form. Marvin Branagh. My personal hero in the game is Marv. When the outbreak and the mismanagement of the Chief Irons tore the police forces apart, Marvin was one of the few who tried to help all he could. He stayed to help the people sheltering in the police station, but got bitten by a zombie. The last thing he did was to save others while giving his keycard to Claire, and then he went to his office to spend the last minutes he had as a human. He was preparing for Leon's welcome party just before the outbreak. He was 39 when he faced his heroic end in the September 29, 1998. He was a tall figure standing at 1.85 meters height, and I love to see more characters like him. But I'm not lucky here, am I? Robert Kendall. Robert was a master gunsmith. He was a 40-year-old typical American male. It has been said that he is half Japanese, half American. One of the greatest things about him was that he gave his guns to the people of the town to protect their loved ones against the death. But in the end, Mikami happened, and instead of becoming a regular character in the game, stayed a bit too close to his shop windows and got killed by zombies following Claire. I mean, what the hell, man? Don't you think that a window like that will break easily with the push of a zombie? By the way, he was a well-known man by the police force, and he was a close friend of the weapons expert of the stars, Barry Burton. Annette Perkins. Annette Perkins was a kind of a candidate for the worst mother in the world. She married William Birkin and they both worked hard for Umbrella in the Raccoon City's main branch. She was not as smart as her husband, but was a great researcher nonetheless. She was 34-year-old when the game event happened, and in the end, her motherhood made her survive enough to help Claire making a vaccine for Sherry, and somehow she redeemed herself before dying. William Birkin. William was one of the best and the most intelligent people that this world has ever seen. He got recruited by Umbrella in 1970 when he was just 18-year-old and worked on the T-virus enhancement. He was the crown jewel of the team and was a close friend with Mr. Albert Wesker himself. He finally was able to discover a new and super strong strain of T-virus called Golgotha or G-virus. He was excited but felt that the company will not let him own his research and tried to sell the virus to another rival. But the strike force of the Umbrella came after him. They were pointing guns at each other and William was moving backward. But something fell from his desk, and this small distraction was enough for the enemy to gun him down. When he lost everything, he had only one thing in his mind: revenge. So he used the only remaining virus he had and turned into a nightmare terrorizing the city. Yes, he was the reason that the virus went viral inside the Raccoon City. Brian Irons. Brian Irons was the chief of police in Raccoon City. He was a charismatic figure respected in the town for his work, but underneath all that glory, a monster was there. He was under the direct payroll of the Umbrella and turned the police station into his own luxurious stay. He loved the artworks and taxidermy, and deep inside enjoyed torturing people and making them run for their life. So he loved the cat and mouse type of game in the most dirty way. He even had his own torture room under the police station. When the Umbrella was almost exposed by the Stars, he disbanded the Stars team to help the Umbrella, and even at the time of the outbreak gave so many destructive instructions to the police forces that they tore apart before they can do anything against the hordes of zombies. So technically he did everything Umbrella asked him to do, but in the end Umbrella betrays everyone easily and they abandoned him as well. Finally, this hidden evil faced his death by the hand of G-mutated William Birkin. Hunk. Mr. Grim Reaper, the man who cannot be killed, and a lot more cool things were used to describe this man. He is a loyal Umbrella Elite Force member, and when he was ordered to collect the G-Virus sample from William Birkin, he initially succeeded. But they did not count on Birkin holding another sample in his hand, so he turned into a monster and killed most of the Hunk's team members, except for the Hunk himself. Hunk was unconscious for almost the entire Resident Evil 2 story, but when he woke up he called the Umbrella HQ and delivered the sample as he promised. There's almost nothing we know about him, not even his name and age, and this made him cool and interesting as hell.
Yeah, Leon is my favorite too. Oh, you're back. Okay, I hope that you have enjoyed this video and tell me which one of the characters is your favorite. My favorite character is Leon, and this dumbass has an amazing taste and he thinks that Robert Kendall is the best and the most smart person in the world. With that said, this is Daniel from Retro Haven. Please leave a like and share our channel with your friends. We want to have a lot of awesome audiences such as yourself. Please click on the notification icon down below and watch any of the videos that we have. We will leave videos regularly on our channel. So I will see you guys in the next video.